Hello. Good afternoon. Let me set this up really quick. Oh my god. It's not standing up. I don't know what to do here. Let me see. Oops. This is good. I'm gonna put it on my eyeshadow. Great. So hope you guys are doing good. It is August the 21st. Yes. I said I was gonna go live today, so now I'm live. I hope everyone's having a good day, evening, night, you know, wherever you are. I just hope you're doing good. I'm just very tired today. I didn't get enough sleep, so I may be a little out of it. I guess that's okay. We can't be 100% every day. There was this book that let me find it. Hold on. Let me go get it. Oh. Okay. All right. Whew. So, you see my... No, you can't see my leg. So, I picked this book up today, right? And I found a random page that I wanted to share with you guys. It's called Black Pearls, Daily Meditations, Affirmation, Inspirations for African Americans by Eric Kopach. There's this page that I bookmarked because I wanted to come back to it, right? It says, fresh starts. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. James Weldon Johnson. How sad that we rarely allow ourselves truly new days, just a reprise of our old days. Self-examination is the key to a fresh start. In our march towards personal and collective victory, it is imperative to check our route on the map of our life. Do we need to change direction? Are we prepared to face the terrain that lies ahead? We may prepare to face the are we prepared to? Sorry. We may well be carrying some burdensome load that keeps us from maintaining the pace we require to reach our goal. We may need to cast off some of the weight that impedes our progress. Let's take a look. Here's the affirmation. On this day, actually says, on this day I will take 5 minutes to reevaluate the direction of my life. If I am not satisfied, I will map out a course of action to change it. Wow. Let me change the screen. It's a little dark. Still too dark. Blue. This is fine. But let's go for white. Ooh, white screen. Wow. Okay. You can like see how dry my hands are now. Let me get my aloe vera gel. That's what I use. Halika. Oh my god, I've been using this since high school. High school, literally. Like, I can't get it out. Since high school, Halika has been my go-to. It's It's aloe vera. It's kind of sticky, but it's really good for moisturizing. Like, oh, I swear by this. I really swear by it. I'll get back to reading. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. I remember I went live one time and I did that. I thought it was so funny. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, when I read that, I felt like it was so relevant for me right now, you know? Like that I feel like I'm starting anew and I'm changing and we have to get to that point where we have to reevaluate where we are in life and really, you know, ask ourselves, is what I'm doing gonna benefit me in the long run? Um, am I prepared for the next chapter of my life? You really have to ask yourself these things when you're in a transitional stage and you want to improve and you want to grow. You have to really evaluate these parts of your life. Are the people around me beneficial to me and my future, or are they a hindrance? And is it in my control to change my surroundings? And if so, how can I actively change my surroundings? I really feel like your surroundings have a lot to do with who you are as a person. Those who are near to you and dear to you can affect um, the lengths you are able to go in life. Whether they're speaking life into your dreams or tearing them down when you're not around, you know? Like that. I wanted to come and read another part of this book, um, A History of Ghosts, Spirits, and the Supernatural. I've been on this book for quite a while, long overdue with me reading the next chapter. So I think we were at, not Legions of Hell, we passed that. Journey for Split Souls, we passed that. The Wheel of Rebirth, we passed that. I think we were around here. Restless Spirits. I think we were, yeah, this was the Restless Spirits. Ooh. I think that was the next part. I'm gonna read it. The Buddha, a spirit of the dead, is feared and venerated across large areas of South and Southeast Asia. Originally a generic term for a spirit, the Buddha came to be identified with those who had failed to pass through the other world after death, or to be reborn. They might linger on earth for a number of reasons: misdeeds in life, a lack of proper burial rites, or some unfinished business, such as the need to punish their killer. Hindu religious texts feature stories about bhutas and the instructions for dealing with them. The Shusruta Samhiti, for example, covers Buddha Vidya, the science of bhutas, and how people who are possessed by the ghosts of such ancestor demons may be cured. The ghosts cannot be exorcised directly, but only by performing a ritual from another text, the Athartha Veda. This is done by finding out what's preventing the disembodied spirit released from the corpse after death from moving on, and promising to remove this obstacle. In Indonesian wayang puppet theater, which features stories drawn from Hindu culture, Bhutas appears as evil giants. You know what's crazy? Something I do is when I'm feeling pain or something in my body or something feels off, I give it a name. So if I'm having a stomach ache and I don't have an explanation for it, like I didn't eat anything that was out of the ordinary, I give it a name, like a random name, like Tom. And I'm like, Tom, why are you here? I know. I'm like, Tom, what do you want? And then my brain comes up with like a random story, like I passed away and I ate too much and I passed from diabetes. So I'm just telling my stomach, or Tom, right? I give it a name. I'm like, Tom, I'm sorry you went through that, but I do not accept you in my body anymore. I know it sounds crazy. Um, I do not accept you in my body anymore. You gotta go. Look, I'll lead you. I'll lead you to where you need to go. Just it's okay. I understand. You gotta go. I'll take you to the light. You gotta go to the other side. Like you are not welcome in my body. You gotta go. I literally give it a name. It sounds crazy, right? But it works. 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 So I mean, if it works, why not? If it works for you, then continue to do it. I mean, it works for you. It may not work for everybody, but if it works for you, then keep going. You know. Okay. Temptresses and flesh eaters. There are different kinds of Buddha. Some are the ghosts of people who were not buried with the proper rites or not buried at all. These restless spirits can be appeased by performing funerary rituals. More troublesome are the Buddhas of those who have died by suicide, Bhavanis, the ghosts of unmarried women, and Churels, those of childless women who entice young men to their doom. But the most dangerous Bhutas are the Brahma Rakshasas, said to be the spirits of members of the Brahman priestly caste who have committed grave misdeeds in life, such as accepting gifts from evil people. Really? Those are the worst ones? Supernaturally strong, they inflict curses on those who anger them and even consume human flesh. Keeping Bhutas at bay. Remote places such as crossroads, fields, or the places where they died are thought to be popular haunting spots for Bhutas. Although Brahma Rakshasas are apparently fond of the sacred Bodhi tree, experts in deceiving the people they prey on, these ghosts usually appear in human form. And accounts in South and Southeast Asian folklore often describe a figure dressed in white, with feet that point backwards. And in some cases, inverted palms are no nos. Bhutas also manifest as fierce creatures such as tigers, remnants of their possible origins in shamanistic beliefs about animal spirits. Oh, that's so cool. Having identified a Bhuta, there are various ways to deal with it. Lying on the ground is said to confuse Bhutas as they fear touching the earth, and refusing to show fear may lead them to find another victim. Water, iron, and burning turmeric are also used to drive them off. Alternatively, their attacks can be halted by welcoming and celebrating them, or by making them offerings of meat, blood, or milk, in which case they may turn into guardian spirits. If you feed your spirits, they'll work with you. Ooh. The two evil spirits of the form of Brahma, ghosts with their bodies oppressed by hunger and thirst, roamed over this earth. Wow. Wow. It's like eating, it's like, you know, sometimes you crave certain foods and you're like, I don't even like that type of food, but you're craving it. And then once you eat that food, you're like, that was good, but that's not like me. Like, are we feeding our spirits when we have cravings? Are we feeding certain ancestral spirits that like certain foods through us right now when we crave things? Is the craving your craving, or is it some other spirit's craving? Ooh, ooh. Bhuta Kola. In some regions of India, including Tulunada in the southwest, communities enact a shamanic ritual designed to invoke their guardian spirits, performing to special music, dancers, and priests wear masks representing Bhutas, such as Panjurli, said to ward wild boars off crop, or Barbaria, a spirit that protects fishermen as well as appeasing Bhutas. Hmm. The Bhuta Kola ritual also plays a role in maintaining social harmony. I'm getting a very interesting sensation right now, like a spirit is coming through. I'm getting a message to say like those who watch. Oh my god. I'm getting a weird message right now. Like it sounds like an ego message. Like I always believe that people who watch with like bad intention, their intention kind of feeds. You know how they say all attention is good attention? It really, I've been thinking about it recently. Like when people hate other people or they send them negative energy, you're actually feeding that person's shadow or you're feeding their spirit with your emotion. So if you don't like someone and you constantly think about not liking them, you're actually giving your power away to them. Like you're feeding them with your emotion. You're feeding them with your negative thoughts. The more you hate someone, the more you feed them. The more you love someone, the more you feed them. Any emotion that you direct towards someone, you're feeding them in that moment. This is wisdom. I didn't make the rules. The universe did. When someone sends you any sort of energy, you can actually absorb it and use it for your own good. So if someone doesn't like you and they're like evil eyeing you, you can just take that evil eye energy, transmute it, and turn it into something else. That's why I think when rappers make songs like diss songs, they do so well because it's like I don't know how to explain it. And then they go back and forth. It's like a dance of consuming and creating and consuming. It's a very interesting concept, but that just came to me. Like I remember one time I was getting this energy, like this negative energy from someone. And instead of feeling low and sad, I felt empowered. Like my body felt like it was on fire. Like not out of anger. It was more like I was absorbing the negativity they were giving to me and it was just making me feel stronger. It's weird. It was a great transmutation. I felt like a light. Like they're saying all the negative things. They're saying, "Oh, she's that, she's this, she's that." And I was just like, "Okay, okay, keep giving it. Keep feeding me. You're just feeding my ego right now. Keep feeding me. I'm bothering your spirit so much, but I don't even care that you exist. I have nothing to say to you because you don't even exist in my reality. Keep feeding me. Thank you." And this is why celebrities are celebrities. I feel like so much people hate them and it kind of fuels them to do even better. Like the more you hate a celebrity, the bigger their star. For example, unfortunately Trump. So much people hate him, but the hate only makes him stronger. Now ignoring people, that is when you take your power back. If you don't like them, ignore them. That's the ignore. They don't exist. That's how you keep your power. The more you focus an emotion on someone, the higher their pedestal, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's what I've learned. So if I don't like someone, they just don't exist to me. I have no emotions, I have no thoughts, I have no feelings. Like you're not getting any of my energy. I'd rather use that energy to love myself even more, you know? That's power. You could be a powerful hater too. There is power in hating, you know. You could literally build a platform for hating as well. But, you know, that's a choice. But why do that when you can literally build a platform for yourself? You know, it's like we have the opportunities to spend our energy in certain ways. Anyways, let's get back to the book. Thou shalt not conjure spirits. The Old Testament condemnations. In the second millennial act, I said the act. It just says in the second millennial BCE, the Jewish Israelites of the Middle East were surrounded by peoples steeped in magical tradition. Canaanites and Philistines and Israelites who all inhabited Canaan, present day Levant, held rituals centered on ghost pits. In an effort to raise the dead, the Jewish faith differentiated itself from these pagan practices. Communing with the spirits of the dead was condemned as an attempt to manipulate God's will. Later, later Christians also adhered to the Old Testament's prohibition of spirit conjuring. The book of Deuteronomy includes warning that one who consults ghosts or familiar spirits or one who inquires of the dead is aberrant to the Lord. Waking the dead, necromancy. The raising of the dead challenged the divine order of things in which the deceased went to Sheol, a place of silence and darkness, to heaven, or, according to later rabbinic literature, to Gehenna, the land of the damned. The spirits of the dead were distant from evil spirits and demons in Jewish belief. Nonetheless, many Jewish people believed God had ordained the final abodes of the dead, and summoning spirits back among the living were considered unnatural. The book of Job states, "As the cloud is consumed and vanishes away, so he who goes down to the grave shall come up no more." Manasseh, the king of Israel, is condemned but ultimately forgiven by God in the Old Testament book of the Second Chronicles because he practiced divination and sorcery and witchcraft and dealt with mediums only where God prohibited a vision of the dead, as he did to the prophet Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones. Was such communication sanctioned? Similarly, there are many examples in the Old Testament of one-ironmancy, divination through dreams. Wow. Laws against magic. The penalties for necromancy could be severe, as the book of Leviticus commands. A man or woman impersonating a necromancer or a medium shall be put to death. The Sanhedrin, the Jewish council, warned against those who fast and then sleep in graveyards in order to be possessed by the spirits of the dead. Conjuring spirits might be forbidden, but nonetheless, necromancy was clearly practiced in the Holy Land, even by kings and prophets, and it remained a. Hold on, sorry. Ow! It remained a preoccupation for the guardians of the Jewish religious law. There must not be found among you anyone that uses divination, a soothsayer, or medium, or wizard, or necromancer. Look at it. That art is beautiful. Beautiful. Isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. Wow. The Valley of Dry Bones. Prophet Ezekiel is shown commanding the skeletons of the dead to reconstitute themselves so he can consult them. God himself had commanded Ezekiel to perform necromancy. Wow. So it's like one, I'm gonna put my little 2 cents in it. It's crazy because one part of the book, is saying, oh, God doesn't want you to practice necromancy, but God literally gave Ezekiel the gift. He gave him the power to perform necromancy. So what if someone else is practicing necromancy and God ordained them to do it? Like, how would we recognize the difference? Because if they should be put to death, then shouldn't Ezekiel be put to death? How would we know? You see, this is where the this is me. This is my own personal opinion, okay? I'm just like, wow. All my wizards and necromancers and mediums, stand up. Where are you guys? Where are you who use divination? Where are you people in the crowd? And who gave you the gift? Was it God? Was it the dead? Was it the other guy? Who was it? Personally, I still believe there are God-given gifts. I just think you just have to ask the person, like, hey, what do you believe in? If they tell you, I believe in God, then it's like, okay, great. But if they tell you, like, I believe in something else that's like dark, and I got a side eye. Do what you want, man. I'm gonna say this out my mouth. I may be a medium or something. I didn't choose this life. It literally chose me. Like I didn't choose to be hypersensitive. Does that mean I have to be put to death? God, I didn't choose this. I didn't even want to give myself the title for all these years. I didn't want to give myself this title, but God gave me this gift. So I mean, what can I do? I'm feeling like I'm a prophet. I be prophesizing like how there's a great shift happening right now on earth, and there may be a few people in your life who you're seeing are becoming distant and are distancing themselves because those people are shifting into a new frequency right now, or they're being called to do something new, and you may see it as distance and them distancing themselves, but they're really going through a lot. um, so really look at your life and those around you. It could be you going through something right now, and you're being called to seclude and really think about. That's why I read the fresh start page. That's why it literally came to me today, because that's the message that a lot of us are being called to start anew, to let go of the old. And I said this also like 2 months ago, that was what's next, that we're all being called to shift. And then my dad had a stroke because God wants him to live life differently. And until he can see that, he's just gonna go down the same path again. It's like a pattern. Like right now, we're being called to break free from the patterns that we've been following for the past 8 years. I don't really look into astrology or anything. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure that's what the planets are saying as well. That we have to shift into something new very soon, and it hurts. Anyways, let's go into the next. Oh, this is so creepy. It reminds me of Nosferatu, like the scene, the Endor ghost pit. Anyways, the biblical book of Samuel relates how Saul, the first king of Israel, sought the services of a necromancer to raise the spirit of the prophet Samuel. Saul wanted to know how to defeat the Philistines, a people from the south coast of Canaan who often warred with the Israelites in battle. The following day, the woman Saul sought after is described in the Hebrew text as Estebalat Av, or female master of the Ov, which refers to ghost pit. Oh my god, I'm seeing like the seal on the ground. A hole dug into the ground as a part of the ceremonies for raising the dead. Saul must have been desperate, as such rituals common in pre Israelite Canaan culture were now strictly forbidden. Reluctantly, the woman performed the ritual, and Elohim, or spirits, arose from the pit in the village of Endor. Among the spirits was the prophet Samuel. I'm getting a very weird feeling. I'm hearing in my head, and it struck like lightning. Like, and something struck like lightning. I don't know. And what struck like lightning? Hmm. Anyways, yeah, I'm just getting a very weird feeling. Reluctantly, the woman performed the ritual, who wanted Saul, the prophet Samuel, as an old man wearing a robe, who warned Saul that he had lost God's trust and that he and his sons would die at the hands of the Philistines. As prophesied, Saul's sons perished in battle, and he chose to die by suicide rather than be captured. Over the centuries, this brief story has inspired much theological debate. At first, this centered on whether the apparition really was Samuel's spirit and why he would rise up through the ground, which for Christians had a strong association with hell. However, by the time of the European witch trials, attention had turned to the woman who was widely cited as providing biblical evidence for existence of witches. In later translations of the Bible, she became known as the Witch of Endor. I see a ghostly figure coming out of the earth. Do you guys believe in prophecy? A woman of Endor in the picture, a hag witch with the robed spirit of Samuel behind her. Oh, I see. But I don't see a robed spirit behind. I see it in front. And the owl. Oh my god, this art is like so creepily cool. Do you guys believe in prophecy? Because the prophecy says I'm gonna be great, so let's see if the prophecy is real. I prophesized this for myself since I was little. There are trickster spirits, right? There are trickster spirits for real. They tell you one thing and then they literally put fear in your heart, and once you start to feed into the fear, you literally walk down that path that they said you were going to walk because you allowed them to feed you with information that would literally cause you to shake and tremble in fear and literally fall into the trap that they set. Spirits can be very tricky, can't they? Friend or foe. This image has illustration Joel Chandler Harris. A folktale, Brer Rabbit has fooled Brer Bear into tying himself up in the typical trickster role reversal. That's so funny. Let me show you. How sad. Poor bear. If you were in the forest, would you rather choose a man or a bear? Would you rather be in the forest with a man or a bear? Friend or foe? Trickster spirits. Almost every region of the world has its trickster spirits. These figures play an ambiguous role. They're able to break the rules, but their deceit often protects the common people against their higher powers. In children's stories, they help teach young people about social norms, and even when their trick falls flat and they themselves are tricked, their experiences can create a feeling of communal solidarity by showing that a certain amount of misfortune is inevitable part of life. How are you guys doing? Please give me a like. I'd appreciate it. A state of in between. Many tricksters are beings who live between realms or have dual natures. Loki, the Norse god, was the son of a giantess, and so only half divine. His tricks included causing the death of the god Baldur with an arrow made of mistletoe. Positioned in between, tricksters are often associated with thresholds. For example, the West African Yoruba figure Isu, usually presented as a trickster, Orisha, or spirit, is associated with many traditional transitional symbols, including crossroads, gates, keys, and doors. Isu uses the power of divination as a means of answering difficult questions, just as many tricksters use pranks to resolve apparently impossible situations. These situations may include oppression by outsiders, as dealt with by Brer Rabbit. In the stories that were told among enslaved people in the U.S. American South, which show how wit and humor can help overcome adversity. Shape-shifting teachers. Tricksters often have the ability to change shape or are themselves part animal. Sun Wukong, a Chinese monkey king, made himself immortal by erasing his name from the Book of Life, and with typical trickster mischief, is not above turning up drunk to gods' banquets and stealing their foods. In North American tales, the trickster can take the shape of a bird, such as Weisaketli, Jack, the crane spirit of the Algonquin people, or a land animal such as a coyote of the indigenous people of the Great Plains in U.S. American Southwest. Coyotes' useful exploits include leading people from the underworld to Earth and creating the first horse, but also with the initial intention to deceive. Some tricksters take human forms, such as the Polynesian hero Maui, who is revered for pulling the Hawaiian Islands up from the ocean floor by his fishing hook. Whatever form they take, tricksters illustrate how the way of the world does not always play by rules, and that sometimes it can be necessary to break them. Truth, truth, that is so true. Japanese kitsune. Kitsune are Japanese fox spirits endowed with supernatural trickster abilities. They are messengers of Inari, the rice goddess of worldly success, and their powers and the number of tails they have grow with age. A nine-tailed kitsune is said to be almost invincible and able to see and hear all things in the world. These untrustworthy spirits often create illusions, such as second moon, to lead travelers astray. It is said that a kitsune can be controlled by seizing the magical pearl in which it hides its soul. What? Kitsune masks are commonly worn during rice harvest festivals in Japan. I always wanted one of these though, the kitsune mask, because I like cats, but it's a fox. So cute though, right? Still giving furry in a way. Still giving cosplay in a way. Family matters. We ain't talking about Drake. Drop. Drop. Originating in Neolithic times, the venerations of ancestors play a vital role in religious belief across much of East and Southeast Asia. Oh, oh my god, I'm gonna be here for an hour. The practice combines a generalized respect for the elders in society with a sense that this must be carried on into the afterlife, where ancestral spirits require regular offerings to sustain and appease them. Divining ancestor needs. Respect for the ancestors appears in varying forms, such as the region's main religion traditions, including Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Shinto, and animist and indigenous belief systems. In China, ancestor veneration dates back at least 5000 BCE, and the Yangshao culture of the East Yellow River Valley by the Shang dynasty, divination using oracle bones, tortoise shells, or ox bones that were heated to produce cracks and could be interpreted prescribed regular sacrifices to appease the spirits of the ancestors. By the time of the Zhou dynasty, ancestor worship had become more elaborate, with temples dedicated to the spirits of former emperors. I think that is so beautiful, you know? Ancestor veneration and creating temples in the honor of your ancestors is beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I love like the Asian culture when it comes to like veneration for the ancestors. And they still do it to this day. That is beautiful. They go to their shrines and they still do prayers and gosh, it's beautiful. I'm getting tired. Split souls. As well as cult of imperial ancestors, the ancient Chinese revered members of their own families, worshiping them at home and in frequent rituals in their tombs, at their tombs. They believe that a person has two soul elements, the Hun and the Po. The Hun was destined for the afterlife. It was first assessed by the city god and judged by the 10 magistrates of hell. Oh my god, I saw a Korean movie that had something like that. I didn't finish the movie though. I think I fell asleep. If virtuous, it could choose either to cross the golden bridge to nirvana and eternal bliss or the silver bridge to the land of the gods. Those who had transgressed in life, such as by disrespecting their parents, were thought to suffer a period of punishment before being permitted to cross one of the bridges. I don't know why I was so drawn to go like the land of the gods. Those who had transgressed in life, such as disrespecting their parents, were thought to suffer a period of punishment before being permitted to cross one of the bridges. The PO stayed with the physical body and required regular nourishment in the form of offerings of food and spirit money. In some traditions, a third spiritual element was said to reside in near the wooden ancestral tablets that form the key part of the ancestral veneration. Hungry ghost. Making regular offerings was especially important during the lunar month of July, when ghosts were believed to return to the land of the living. I was born in July. What does that mean? Here's the art. Beautiful art. Oh God, I love it. I love it. Ancestral lineup. Let me go back to see what that says. Hold on. Festivals such as the Buddhist Ulambana and the Taoist Zhongguan are still held in China to remember and appease these spirits. People who committed evil acts in life, died by suicide, died violently, or whose family did not make offerings might be punished by becoming hungry ghosts. These restless spirits wandered the earth, inflicting vengeance on those who had wronged them. They could only be put to rest by rituals and sacrifices. Wow. Spirit protection. In Korea, ancestor veneration may have originally occurred in prehistoric megalithic dolmens. It was formalized around the imperial family during the Joseon dynasty, when shrines were constructed for the worship of ancestral ruler Jongmyo, with sacrifices made at elaborate altars, such as Sajikdang in Seoul. Many Koreans believe that dead person's soul had three spirits. The Han was said to rise to heaven, while the Bek was buried in the tomb. There was remained for four There it remained for 4 generations before ascending to heaven to become a spiritual protector to the person's descendants. The Bek and the third spirit, which resided in ancestral tablets on the family's altar, needed to be honored with regular offerings. The third spirit had a special box constructed for it to prevent it from wandering, and it was also given spirit money, which it could ultimately use to pay for passage to the 12 gates of the underworld. For those who had died through violence or accidents, the servants of shamans were called upon to cleanse the spirit of its anger and allowed to pass through the next world. Yeah, and thinking back to what I said, like I give my pain in my body a name and I tell it to like cross over. Like, hey, I'm sorry what you went through, but you gotta go. Now I'm thinking that when you're spiritually aware or sensitive, spirits do attach themselves to you when you have certain emotions. So that's something you gotta be aware of if you're like a sensitive, right? You just can't be around anyone because you do spirits that are wandering can latch onto you because you're emitting a frequency that they resonate with, so then they latch onto you because you'll feed them. And when you exude a lot of energy, you feed a lot. Oh my god. It's making me think of like how when you emotionally feed people, or when people say, "Oh my god, like your presence is so blah blah blah," and it's like you're actually feeding them with your presence because your energy. Anyways, let's continue. Nature spirits and restless souls. To forget one's ancestors is to be a brook without a source, a tree without a root. Nature spirits and restless soul. In Japan's Shinto religion, there is a distinction between human dead and the kami. Let me take this off. And the kami, spirits that inhibit natural features such as the rocks, trees, and streams. The kami are venerated mainly at Shinto shrines, while the human ancestors are revered at domestic altars in visits to the family graves and at festivals such as Bon in July and August. People make offerings of food, drink, and symbolic money to nourish and appease the dead, both the peaceful dead, who were thought to protect the living, and the restless dead, those who lived an unhappy life or experienced an unnatural death. Those tragic spirits wander the earth, struggling to enter the afterlife. Only veneration by the living can help them escape this fate. The one version of Shinto, the Sangaku mountain cult, human spirits are believed to live among the kami. After 13 years, they too become kami, further blurring the distinction between the two types of spirits. This is interesting. The sleeping dead. In Southeast Asia, customs are familiarly focused on venerating the ancestors. In the Philippines, feasts were traditionally held for departed ancestors. The ancestors were believed to share the afterlife with non human spirits, so might, if properly honored, be able to intervene and prevent these beings from harming their descendants. Hello, Chicken Bone. How you doing? I'm doing good. Just reading about spirits and stuff. In Tanah Toraja, in the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, people have long had an intimate relationship with their ancestors, keeping their departed loved ones in their home for years before their funeral. What? Huh? Until they are buried, the deceased are referred as simply sleeping. The funerals are hugely elaborate 11-day events, which end with the final interment of the body in the cliff-faced tomb. Even then, the dead return each August in Manin ceremony. The corpses are exhumed and paraded through their former home villages. This practice is yet another form of honoring the dead and stressing the link between the elders who have gone before and the living whose duty it is to revere the ancestors and perpetuate traditions. I've read about that before. They lay the dead body out and burn what? And burn incense around it. Look, the grandfather's bones was buried under the house in the Philippines and exhumed and reburied several times. That is, yo, I didn't even know that. That is just, wow. That is different. Let me, like, try to get it to focus. That is crazy. I didn't know that. Oh, that's not my culture, but, like, what? What? They literally that's I'm sorry. That's really crazy. I'm not saying it's bad, but like imagine they take it back out and it's diseased and yeah. Crazy culture shock for real. Yeah. What? I'm actually so shocked. I thought, because I live in the US, right? Or like Western culture. When we think of the dead, we don't think of digging it back up. We think of leaving it where it is because of the amount of diseases and, worms and, you know, maggots, bacteria, That's what we're thinking of. So we're not thinking of digging it back up. But other cultures, I gotta respect it. It's me. I couldn't. I don't know if I would be okay with someone digging up my parents' bones or my grandmother's bones to worship to pray over it again. But I don't know. It's not my culture. It's not for me to understand. Here is it says venerating the dead. One of the human history oldest belief is when that family members die, they enter a spirit world that is closer to the gods than the living. Ancestor spirits are therefore believed to be able to offer protection and assistance to their descendants so long as they are venerated with dutiful offerings and prayers. Many cultures have also produced fetishistic objects to affirm this connection between the ancestors and the living, and these are believed to be imbued with spiritual power. There's a whole lot going on this page. A whole lot of beauty. Gosh. Because we love our family so much, we create beautiful things. Oh. Beautiful. Thank you for the like. Look how beautiful. Look at the art that we create from love. This is just love and respect. Beautiful. Wow. I'm still shocked. Like I'm gonna be shocked till I don't know until I like watch a little documentary because about Indonesia. That's so different. You know, I've seen it in like maybe like South America somewhere that someone had did that. They dug up their grandparent and they prayed over the body again. But it's like I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it because our ancestors were here before us and they struggled and you know every single set of ancestors have gone through their own struggle on earth because living is not easy. Life is not easy. And thinking about the past, I don't think it was any easier. It could have been perceived as simple, but it's not easy. We still have the same struggles that we went through back then that we go through now. People are still dealing with the same issues, maybe on a grander scale now because we have more access to a lot more information. We have access to more cultures. We have access to more, you know, um, people's perspectives. We have so much we can consume through the internet that it actually feels like more. I'm sure, you know. I'm sure our ancestors probably were thinking, I wonder what they're doing on the other side of the world, or I wonder what I'm missing out on the other side. Now we're like, why can't I be doing what they're doing? Why am I like this and not like that? You know, the comparison game is probably bigger now than before because we have so much more access to millions and billions of people, you know, or the illusion that is. So I think I'm done reading. The next part to read is page 52, Eyes Everywhere. I think Vice on YouTube has one about somewhere in Asia where they keep the dead body out in the house for a few weeks, like you were saying, so everyone can say goodbye and whatnot. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, wow. Listen, when I pass, I don't want that. Like, I actually don't want my body to be even found. Like, I don't want to say it like that. Like, I don't know. I want to go to the ocean in a way. I may change my mind later on, but I don't want my body to go missing. But I just want to go back to the earth and not be in a casket. You know, I don't want to be in a casket. Like, I just want my body to just go back to the earth. Oh my god, this next page is creepy. Forest troll. I'm not gonna read anymore. We're gonna stop here, page 52. Wish I had a bookmark. That was enough. I'm gonna check out that. I'm gonna check out that. I'm gonna check out Vice and watch that video because what? I'm comfortable with like death and you know ghosts and spirits and the supernatural. Like I've always been interested in it. But to think that there are some cultures that literally have the dead body in the house for weeks. Can you imagine? Like weeks? It's not gonna decompose. It's not gonna swell up and start to look a little weird. Like, are you guys not gonna go to sleep and have nightmares? That it's sad. Like, it actually. I think it'll help with mourning though. When you're mourning the loss of someone, when they're right there and they're not talking and they're just gone, and you just see their body just there, it probably creates a sense of peace in you that the body's here and the spirit is gone and I have to just accept that this is the new reality, that they're gone and they're not coming back. And as the weeks pass, they honor the body in ways that they couldn't when they were alive because that person had free will and could do whatever they want. But when you're dead and you're just there, all the people around you can do is think about when you were alive and have that loving feeling even though you're not there, you know? It's a little sad. It's kind of sad. But oh my god, no. Recently I saw a video of this girl who was terminally ill, and she said she wanted to pass away in her house, and she did. And her body was in the house for a while, and they put her in like this cardboard casket thing, and she was beautiful. Like she passed, and they had her in the house for a week, and she looked beautiful. Like she still looked alive, and she looked at peace. And I'm like, I can only imagine how the family feels to say their final goodbyes. I feel like I'm gonna cry. That's so sad. That's so sad. I'm so soft when it comes to stuff like that. Like, the beauty of life and death is just. Sometimes we wish that things could last forever, but things always have to die. And we have to really get to that. Having the body in the house probably teaches them that life is fleeting and to enjoy life day by day. You know, stop thinking about tomorrow and live in the now. It's sad. It's sad. Like, I'm actually like feeling like I want to cry at the thought of how beautiful that actually is. It sounds weird, but there's a beauty in it. Instead of being like, yeah, get this body out the house, they're like, we still love this person. Even though they're not here, we love them. We love the memories we had. We can still respect them even though they're not, conscious. Like, and like the family's pets can probably understand that the person is gone as well. Oh, what a way to end this. So sad. I forgot to say that I'm also doing a giveaway. If you're interested, I must remember to say that every time I go live. I'm ending it on Saturday, and so far I think only 3 people have joined. I really want others to join. I should change the name of my live so when people do come in. Anyways, so I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away a necklace. You can go on my shorts video to check it out. Like, subscribe, just comment red, RED, and I'll enter you in. So far I'll have like 3 people who are in. I really want more people. So luckily, the smaller it is, the more likely you are to win. So join. Be number 4, be number 5. Your likelihood to win is high. There isn't hundreds of people joining so far, so that's good for you if you really want to join. Like, subscribe, comment red, simple. Like, once you win, you could just unsubscribe. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Kind of funny. But I do have another book that I got, and we're gonna do a little sample. Okay, let's go to page 1. Page 1 says disappearances. Ooh. Every day, all over the world, people go missing, either of their own. Hold on, let me like. Okay. People go missing either of their own volition or due to circumstances beyond their control. When a person in the public eye disappears, such as Lord Lucan or Agatha Christie, the case grips the public's imagination. With sightings of the missing person being reported from all quarters, speculation about the motivation behind these events rages, although the truth of the matter is often never discovered. let me see something. Boop. Okay. When the area has a history of repeated vanishings, such as Bermuda Triangle, the possibility of some sort of extraterrestrial intervention inspires fevered speculation. But disappearances of any sort leave unsolved mysteries and unanswered questions. Lord Lucan. The disappearance of Lord Lucan, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Lucan, has perplexed the nation and confounded the law of decades. I feel like he jumped off a bridge. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really getting that feeling. There have been many unanswered questions concerning the crimes from which he fled, and 30 years later the mystery is no nearer to being solved. Until the time of his vanishing, Lord Lucan lived the life of a typical English aristocrat. Or maybe he went into the sewers. I don't know. I'm getting a really weird feeling. After leaving boarding school, he embarked upon a short career in the armed forces. This was followed by a brief stint in merchant bankings before he turned his hand in his main passion in life, gambling. In this, he displayed an obvious affinity with risk taking. In fact, he enjoyed such success that he earned himself the nickname of Lucky. And to the consternation of his wife, took up gambling as a profession. I don't know if that's a good profession, guy. Lord Lucan and his fiancee Veronica Duncan photographed on the announcement of their engagement. Look at them. Hello, Anthony. Augusta. Hi. How are you? However, as time went on, Lunkin's luck appeared. Hold on, let me shift my leg. Hold on. Ow, my leg. Sorry, had to shift my leg real quick. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Only got one like. I have so much people coming in and out, and no one's hitting the like. Lunkin's luck appeared to change, and he accrued a large tally of gambling debts and threatened the financial security of his children. It was this, together with other factors, which led to the breakdown of his marriage. Yes. No. Which led to the breakdown of his marriage and ensuing bitter custody battle between the estranged couple. On the 7th of November 1974, matters went from bad to worse. In Lunkin's family home in London, two crimes took place: the murder of the children's nanny, Sandra Rivet, and the attempted murder of his wife. Accounts of the events which took place on this night vary as much many theories that attempt to explain what happened. However, the identity of the prime suspect for both of these crimes is something upon which all seem to agree. Lord Lucan himself. After the crimes took place, Lucan gave his own personal account to friends. He stated that an assailant had entered the house and brutally attacked his wife, leaving her hysterical and bleeding profusely. Lunkin had interrupted the assault and wrestled with the attacker, slipping during the struggle in the blood that covered the floor. Realizing that he had thus unwittingly implicating himself in the attack, he reasoned that he would have difficulty in proving his innocence and decided to flee. In opposition to this, the report given by Lady Lucan, which was supported by an inquiry in this, she claimed that he had intended to murder her that night, but that the attempt had gone wrong and he had killed the nanny by mistake. Lady Lucan stated herself had fought with her ex-husband and had been lucky to escape with her life. Her injuries appeared to support the story, but was her assailant actually her husband? A third theory that had been put forward is that he had hired a hitman to kill his wife, but that the supposed assassin had mistakenly murdered Sandra Rivet instead. As the two women were of similar built. He attempted to dispose of the nanny's body, but on both disturbed by his wife, had tried to murder her in line with the original plan. Many believe that the fact that Lucan fled the scene of the crime and abandoned his distressed wife is proof of his culpability, since I felt like he had to hire a hitman. Since his disappearance, there have been many unofficial reported sightings of this elusive fugitive all over the world. This has served only to deepen the sense of mystery surrounding this particular case, and it seems likely that unless he surfaces the truth of the crime and how he managed to vanish without trace may never be known. I was reading that and I automatically thought he hired someone to do it, and because he's like into gambling, so he wouldn't have that much of a hard time hiring someone to do it for him. You know what I mean? Immediately I got that. And I feel like he wasn't so lucky because by paying someone to end his wife when they actually ended his nanny, it caused him bad luck. So I'm sure he jumped off a bridge or something. Immediately I just got like the worst feeling that that's what he did. Let me shift my leg again. Ouchies. Sorry. I'm sitting very weird right now. My legs are like, okay. Okay. This one is Agatha Christie. It is somehow fitting that Agatha Christie, the undisputed queen of mystery writing, should have been involved in her own mysterious event. Her sudden, unexplained disappearance, although only temporary, this occurrence has never been properly explained. What were the reasons behind the event, which could have easily have come straight out of one of her own elaborate murder stories? Christie disappeared on the evening of Friday, 3rd December 1926, when asked by the police to provide an alibi. Her husband, Archie, was forced to admit that he had spent the weekend with his mistress. Ooh, messy. This information led police to suspect that Archie may have had a motive for the murder, or that she may have taken her own life. A wide-ranging search began immediately, and the next day her abandoned car was discovered. Strewn with her clothes and belongings, the vehicle was located near both a quarry and a lake, fueling suspicion that Christie may have committed suicide. Coincidentally, the lake had actually featured in one of her crime novels as a site of a drowning. In the light of these factors, the police had the lake dredged, but they found nothing. The search was then widened to the surrounding countryside, with thousands of volunteers drafting in. This also proved fruitless. Then, after a few days of press publicity, Christie was identified as being alive and well in a health spa in Yorkshire, where she was staying under an assumed name. The official explanation was that Christie had been suffering from amnesia brought on by the death of her mother. This, however, sounded... Hold on. Let's go to the next page. I wonder if I can say death. Listen, I don't really care about what YouTube da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, whatever. Oh, wait. This, however, sounded more like a fabrication than anything grounded in reality. The public remained mystified. Christie never revealed her actions or motives to anyone, and as she died in 1976, it is unlikely that we shall ever know the truth. She made no mention of the episode in her memoir, and whenever asked about her disappearance, she never wavered from the amnesia story. Over the years, there have been much speculations about the possible reason for what happened. Could have been an act of revenge on Christie's adulterous husband, or the symptoms of a nervous breakdown, or even a cleverly constructed publicity stunt. Whatever the reason, the event can only enhance her reputation as a true mistress of the unexplained. Sorry. Okay. That was the little sample. I think I really like the writing of this one. The Unexplained, a compelling collection. I bought this book for $1. I like how this book was written. Like the way how they wrote it was is like very easy to read, you know, like for storytelling. One of these nights, I like late at night, I'm gonna read one of these books, and I hope you stop by and listen, tap in. I just hit myself with the book. Ouch. Oh, I like this one. I like this one a lot. It's my first time picking it up too. Like I bought it maybe a month ago. I saw it and I was like, ooh, I like this. Anyways, I think I'm gonna let's do like a let's do something new. Start I don't know. Ask me anything. I don't care. Can I move this? Yeah. Somebody ask me a question. Any question. I don't care. I've been streaming for an hour. Please hit the like, hit the likes, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Hit the like, please. It's free. Don't make me sing the song. Hit the like, please. It's free. Hit the like, please. It's free. Hit the like, please. It's free. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Hit the like for. Oh, shoot, I'm getting messed up. Hit the like, please. It's free. Hit the like, please. It's free. Nah, I cracked myself up for real. Why you not hitting the like? Why you not asking a question? You just gonna be here watching? Nah, that's funny. Hit the like, please. It's free. No. I still have the tteokbokki here. I have yet to make it. I'm gonna be back. Everybody who's watching right now, I can see. I can see you. Bots and all. I know who you are. Nah, I'm joking. I don't. Retouch. Nah, I don't like retouch. I want you to see my skin for real. Hit the like, please. It's free. 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 Hello? I put on my lip gloss that I made. It smells like ube. I made this. Isn't it cute? It's like a lip oil. It looks like a pink color. Hit the like, please. It's free. Hit the like, please. It's free. Like the live. Oh! Why am I just seeing that? It says there's a B word strapped to my chest. Prepare to meet God. I already met God. I don't think I'm gonna meet him again, though. Um, I don't like that stuff. Um, yeah. Are you okay? I must say, are you doing okay? Like, how's it going? Just asking. The internet is a very interesting place, I must say. Very interesting place. What are you guys eating for dinner? Huh? You having fish? You having some salmon? Some tilapia? You know, what are you having for dinner? This is it Wednesday? This oh it's Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday. What are you having for dinner this Thursday night, guys? Are you? How are you? You good? I don't know what to do. Let's open a random page to my book again. Or doesn't disapprove of this live. Great. Nice to know. Mind power. Um, we spend better parts of our youth loading up our minds on facts and figures, very often just so we can make the grades that we think somehow ensure a life of promise for ourselves at the end of our formal education. While we may be full of hope for our future, we probably neglected to train our minds to ace the make or break mental test that awaits us. It takes as much discipline to see ourselves as successful as it does to pass those school exams we cram for. It takes developing our will to persevere, to find creative means to vault our obstacles, and to maintain both our courage and our endurance for the fight of our lives. Somebody asked me a question, please. I don't want to redeem myself. I'd rather you disapprove of this live. I want to be seen as a failure. I want this live to be seen as a failure. I'm okay with that. I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea. It's now emo hours. Every time I try to build something in my life, it crumbles. Why is black? I remember I saw like a video on Instagram and it was like, speak like you're emo. I was crying. All this self loathing, like, yo, stop, please. Of course, I'm joking. Like, ugh, my mascara is like. Clip that, clip that. I was taking this while I wrote this. Did I? I really. I'm multi talented. Wow, you really can't see anything. Good. Lace wear. Alright. So, I've been live a little too long. I'm gonna wait until I get one more like and then I'm out. Just one more. That's all it takes. One more and I'll go to sleep. One more. Like the video, please. I would love it if you just like the video. I don't have anything else to read nor talk about. So please save me from the online streets and give this video or live a like, please. 2 more days till my giveaway ends. And I already know who's gonna win. Like 1 out of 3. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another giveaway. I am. Because I have those shades that I wanted to get rid of. They're like a cream color, but I don't like how it looks on me. I like darker colors. Um, Cream and white, and those colors just don't suit me well. So yeah. Also have to make a song about love. I want to show you. There was this I wonder if I can. There was this picture I saw on Pinterest, and I was like, oh my god, I'm inspired to write a song. Look at it. Isn't it cute? I know it looks kind of weird, right? Let me find another one. What's this? This is like, oh my god. These type of images make me want to write songs. Like, look at this. I wanted to find pictures that really emulate the feeling of like yearning, and I want to make a song that at least encapsulates that feeling of like yearning for real, like loving for real, because it's missing. I think it's missing nowadays. What is Oh, I wanted to share like a video, but I can't. Man, I want to see one of my. I'm inspired. This is beautiful. Beautiful. I could be live all day just showing you my inspirations. What is inspiring me recently. Um, I really can't share my screen. That's that's no fun. Mm. Lighting on.